So very good evening to everybody in India and good afternoon to everybody in UK and Europe. This afternoon we have got a very distinguished guest with us, Mr. Amrik Parmar. He is the MD, Indigify UK Ltd, that is from London. We extend a very hearty welcome to him this afternoon from London when it's in the evening, 3 minutes past 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So ladies and gentlemen, in this our web series, today is the 115th webinar, 115. And when we talk about 115th webinar, the whole focus is during this pandemic, during this coronavirus, the new education policy which has been announced now. Our efforts are how to make education relevant, how to make education meaningful, and particularly whether you are in school education, higher education, technical education, management education, engineering education, you are taking some kind of a skill. So I'll initially share some slides. So all our brothers and sisters, wherever they are world over, they can just have a look at it and they can come to know. So Monday, 24th of August at 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time, we are starting this particular very special interaction with Mr. Amrik Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, our chamber, ICSI, when I talk about International Chamber for Service Industry, which is the link between the government, corporate, and the non-resident Indians business interface, we got to understand that we are focusing on services sector. And during this pandemic, particularly during this coronavirus, we are focusing on education. We understand during this lockdown, the thought processes are affected, business is affected, physical and mental health is affected, and the main part of the universe, education is deeply affected. But from India, we always believe in Vasudev Kutumbakam. That means one world, one love, one family. That's the way we have to look. While extending a very warm, heartiest congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister of India and the Education Minister of India, we wish to share with all of you that the new education policy has been announced by the Government of India on 29th of July 2020. This particular program, what we are having today on this Zoom webinar, you can also see live on Facebook, Dr. Gulshan Sharma's page. So imagine after 1986, the first policy came in 1968, and then 1986, small changes in 1992. But if you take in realistic terms, it's almost after 34 years, the new education policy in India has come, which is a milestone, which is a new, most innovative step by the present government. And the efforts of the Honorable Prime Minister are how India to become the global knowledge superpower. Now, we started this webinar series basically during this pandemic with a focus on Monday to Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. And that is making education relevant. How the education which is being imparted should be useful to our day-to-day life. Now, making education relevant, when we talk about the new innovation and new collaboration which we brought from 5th of June, that's the World Environment Day, because all the research which we were getting from various sources from world over, it was conveying that the next crisis world over is going to be on water crisis. There's going to be a misunderstanding, and that's why Jal Hi Jeevan Hai and Jal Sanrakshan, water conservation, is very important. Women empowerment at the same time is very important. That's our focus. Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. we hold a program. That's a 1-hour webinar on making education relevant. But every Saturday morning, we have got 500 million plus people from world over. Those are the followers of Buddhism. And we talk about what is Buddha's teaching in today's education and what's its relevance. Saturday evening, 7 to 8 p.m., we talk with you on global wellness, where yoga, meditation, naturopathy, all that whatsoever is required, the nutrition, the organic, everything we take into consideration. Sunday morning, 9:30, we get you Professor Satyendra Dhiman all the way from the Woodbury University, Burbank, California. And he talks on Srimad Bhagavad Gita and all the important Upanishads of India's relevance in education system. Sunday evening at 5 p.m., we go to 650 million people. That's in the 10 countries, ASEAN. And then, of course, our chamber is trying its level best, whatsoever we can do. The research which has come, and particularly the synthesis, what we have carried out, there we show and we discuss that there are three basic things which are required during this pandemic. First is your basic food, second is your health, and the third part is your digital education, your new pedagogy, and your new way of learning and imparting education. B2B is no more business to business. Now it is back to basics. So whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, ladies and gentlemen, it can achieve. We are trying to get all the educators from the world over together. And this evening, it's a proud privilege. Right from the UK, we have got Mr. Amrik Parmar, the MD, Indigify UK Ltd. He's from London. We extend him a very hearty welcome this afternoon. And it's a one-to-one, heart-to-heart conversation with the non-Indian Indians. He moved to UK as a child with his parents from Punjab almost 50 years ago. He studied at South Bank University, London. He started his career in telecom industry as a developer and progressively moved to senior management as a director. He started his career in UK, moved to USA in 1985, lived and worked in Silicon Valley, California, where the innovation environment made him as an entrepreneur. He started a software company and sold the same in late 1990s. He moved back to UK in 2004 and to work with the IBM Global Business Services for the next 10 years until 2014. And thereafter, he started his education technology company, because today technology is playing very important role and education sector we are focusing on. So we requested him to share his thought process with us. In addition, he started a mobile money financial technology platform company, currently live mobile money services in Africa, with a global expansion platform planned over the next few months. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, we extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Amrik Parmar to be with us this evening and to share his thought process. Hearty welcome to you. Pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. First of all, I'd like to really thank and congratulate you, our Prime Minister in India and the Education Department for facilitating and giving me the opportunity. As you have mentioned, I have lived as a child in India, grew up in a village school, gained everything from those very simple days of education, and then moved to UK as a child, grew up here, studied here, went to USA, did a lot of things, startups, entrepreneurship, and then decided I need to go back to India and do something. I think we met in those early education technology days in your college. And I remember that through those visits to your college and through discussions with the education department in Punjab at that time, we decided, okay, let's do something in the education space. So we did a learning management system, but with a difference. So bringing every task that a college does, including students, parents, their buildings, their buses, their campus food management, their handling of the money between students and the vendors. So we did an application for that. And that was developed with working with a number of government colleges, private colleges. As you know, there is a big difference in fee structures, which is very unique to India because of the different levels of income levels in India that you have school students coming from. And in next project we did was basically farmer life improvement. And this is a push from a plate to a farmer or a farm to plate push by the government of India to manage the quality of the food, hence the health of the people. So the health of the dairy farmer and his livestock is a direct contributor to daily issues of people's, health and health issues. So we developed that application. I think it was developed with an Australian company, and currently that's in India, in many states, being used to connect dairy farmers to the dairies, to the people, as well as the health of their livestock. So very, very good project, a very, very comprehensive project with a mobile app, bringing in new technology to each dairy farmer's home, whether he has a one animal or 1,000 animals. So that was it. And then in addition to that, we have gone into with the application to Africa, which is a mobile money platform. And that is again a game changer in that industry, because the current offerings are all involved with the mobile network operator uh, uh, centric applications, which limits their reach to the wider population. So what we have done is we've gone with the bank integration, and so we have a bank centric. Uh, we have a very bank centric application, so that allows everybody uh, to. So we are bringing the marginal population into the banking sector. So that helps the banks increase their reach, as well as increase their revenue sources beyond just traditional banking accounts. So those are the applications we've been working on. But I did want to provide, as we discussed, a feedback on education. So our traditional India, although we have some of the best education in the world, one area I feel that we have neglected is the skill center, skill development. We have a huge program in India. I think I came across that. But I think the effectiveness of that we could work on. So that is, I have visited the skill centers in Punjab, in Hoshiarpur. The government supported, very good efforts. I think with the outside help, just like the Chinese have done in the past, the Taiwanese have done. They have taken people back from Silicon Valley back to their countries to improve their own offerings and understanding of where we are going forward. As you know, currently technology is more about convenience. Every application, you take Facebook, you take Zoom, and IoT, next big future. These are all applications that improve people's lives while providing convenience. But those are the job creators of the future, not the traditional industries. As if you probably already know that majority of the job creation in the Western world is through small and medium enterprises. Small enterprises actually are huge, and I have seen that grow around our office in Mohali. There's so many buildings coming up, so many new names of technology companies coming up. But I found that although we had a government incubator there, but I think we could have a better involvement, and that means in terms of bringing in funding to those people so that they can run as a growth companies rather than a day-to-day surviving companies. I know they are going through a lot of hardships under current environment, because it's difficult to do delivery of when you need people in an office in some cases. For us, we've been very lucky. Everybody's working from home. So we could, using these technologies, we could work together remotely. And I think the core services are, and so the division is between platform and the core services. Platform is more research and academic research and content, where where applications are more problem solving. And that's the area we have, I think our education system has not targeted, where problem solver children are identified early on through career guidance. And in that sense, what we can do is we can have programs, we can have a joint a technology committee part of your organization through ICSI. We can develop programs that we can take to schools. Not everybody needs a degree right off straight away. We don't need to go straight to a university for 4 years and then look for a job at the end of 4 years. I think in my company, in software development, we have taken always freshers or 4th-year students. We train them. So we've done a little bit of that, but we like to expand that to high school, because I have worked with IBM here in UK, working with the Department for Work and Pensions applications, where they were overhauling their entire benefit system. And that allowed local even northern cities here are considered kind of the second citizens of UK. Southern part is rich and well off. Northern cities have struggled because their industries have disappeared. They were typically coal mining, steel, shipbuilding, car industry. They have all, disappeared to other countries, unfortunately. So what they've done is bring in school straight away 16, 17, 18-year-olds into apprenticeship, but working with technology with the large companies on a government assisted programs. I think, under the current pandemic, our finance exchequer is offering £2,000 to every company that recruits a apprentice straight from school. So those kind of programs, although they are small in financial, but they do bring a government input into that industry. So it legitimizes. So there is no abuse of that industry. People are not going to take away use free labor. So those kind of things. And I think in that case, a very rigorous selection process is in place to help the student selection, and that also helps brain drain. Why do we need every bright student out of India going to Canada? And those are our future engineers we are losing. How many people have come back to work back in India? We need to improve that ratio. And that can only happen if we are willing to improve that in an environment. And it can only happen via our government and our education department, our trade and industry department. So if we work together in those areas, we come up with ideas, I think, we can make a huge difference. Similarly, with mobile money, what we are doing is we are bringing in banking to the furthest corners of Africa, where a person only has a small key phone, mobile phone, but they can use that to buy everything, to make sure that people, government departments, agriculture department, SACCOs, which are the cooperatives, they can distribute money to the people directly without a middleman. So we are removing a lot of those issues with the middle person.
I want to take Africa, and I want to take the finance mobile phones separately with you. Today I've got 2 points which I would like to share with you, very important. Number one, we wish to understand the first point which you have mentioned, where £2,000 are given. Could you just amplify that point? Means students, how are they internship, or how are they moving? What exactly are they doing? What is the duration? If you can amplify that point, I'll be grateful.
Yes, sir.
And second point I'll take then after we do this.
Okay, so it is an apprenticeship, not an internship. Internship normally means giving the person some experience and then letting them go. Apprenticeship means you go interview people, students, just like as you would do a full-time employee. The idea is to understand their skills, their interests. So once you understand that, your selection process is based on quite a rigorous set of written tests as well. Personally, I have also gone through it when I left university. Actually, my very first interview was at IBM. Although I didn't work for them for the next 25 years, but I did not get selected at that time. And competition was huge because that is actually aptitude tests. One of the very strange tests was, how fast can you write an E, small e, back to front in 5 seconds? So the 3 hours, those tests were basically to test your mind, your organizational ability, your problem solving ability. So that was the main thing. And you were asked to.
It's very interesting. What did you say, that small e? What exactly to be done?
So letter E written back to front, back to front. just like Urdu lettering,
Huh.
back to front in 5 seconds. How many can you write? So that tests you how quickly you think. How can I fit the maximum of them in 5 seconds? So it's your thinking analytical skills. So they were tests of 3 hours. You are exhausted at the end of 3 hours because most tests were 5-10 seconds. and we excel. You know, we had those Pahade education in the primary school. I could do those. There were many questions of subtraction and addition, and those you will write them from memory so fast. So my result was I had a great technical, great organizational ability, but just above average technical ability. So that may reflect some of our, you know, primary school education, high school education in India, right? So in terms of that, so once a person joins a company, for example, or they joined IBM, I actually worked with one of those apprentices. Within 6 months, he was better than 80% of the people on that networking where he was working on, because he came from today, you know, the children are very good at Facebook, Instagram, you know, how to find people, search for things on internet. They are very, very good. They're very good at gaming, and the gaming is a very good educational tool also. And so they have done, once they join, they will go through a 6 to 8 week of training program on the company's products. After that, they will join different departments. So technical different departments. So then they will show their interest, which area they are the most interested in. And those are employees. So the Chancellor of the Exchequer has offered to the private industry here, if you recruit an apprentice, they will be able to claim £2,000 toward their costs. But a lot of the people are getting normal salary in addition to that. So that's not a free employee with just £2,000, but actually they are paid salary.
Okay.
Yes.
The second question, that is when you mentioned about Taiwan, let us take an example that they took away a lot of
Yes.
people of their own from Silicon Valley to Taiwan. Let's take an example. So practically, if you want, let's take an example. A lot of people from Punjab have gone to Silicon Valley, they have gone to Canada, they've gone to different places. First of all, selecting the right people to come back.
Yes.
Thereafter, supporting those people to empower the education system or technology within the state.
Yeah.
Can you give me some blueprint, or can you give your some mind?
Yes, sir.
Roadmap. What exactly are you thinking?
Yes, sir. So they initially is. I'll give you an example. We have something in Punjab called an NRI Sabha. You're probably aware of it.
Yeah, we have it.
And they are meant to resolve people's issues.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't know anyone whose issues have been resolved, you know, because they're all land related, family related, you know. But the idea is
we focus on brain drain. We focus on
Yeah. So the idea is, what the Taiwanese did was they came to Silicon Valley, and they will offer a job in a Taiwanese company, but they will offer better facilities than Silicon Valley is offering in those things that make your life easy. Punjab, the same thing is required. What makes your life easy when you are there? Healthcare, education. So when our, you know, diplomats from UK go to India, they put their kids in English schools. You know, they put their safety, their security, and they look the laws that apply to, so that, you know, as an NRI, I have, you know, these are very basic things. They are not groundbreaking. But if I'm in Punjab, somebody can hit me on purpose and then put a claim against me. I could be in a jail for 3-4 days before I get bail or I don't get bail. And that mindset has scared people. Although it may not happen very often, but you know, in today's world, it may not be the truth, but it reflects on it. And that means we are moving away from the original purpose of why we want people to come to Punjab or Delhi, or, you know, because what we want to do is not just bring in only not their knowledge. is also their contacts. Today, a lot of the VCs are based in Silicon Valley. You know, I have friends who are VCs in Silicon Valley. So when you want to raise funding for a venture, where do you go? So there needs to be a very good way to do it is a government fund. Most government have funds, venture funds. I'm not aware of the India government venture fund, but I'm sure there are. And the aware, even if it is there, is not awareness is not there with people, because you know the it's not advertised as something to attract people, and I don't see the visibility. I think that may be just an issue that we can work on as a team. India, Silicon Valley, UK, there are many people very interested to go and work in India. Not only in NRIs, even the local population. There are many people interested in technology area. At least I know, and if we facilitate that, we work with the authorities in India. The Trade Department is one example. I've had more visibility to the British Trade UK Trade and Industry Department in Chandigarh embassy than I was aware of anything else, you know, happening locally in other areas. So I think there are lessons we can learn how we approach that. And we can work with even the UK trade and industry guys over there, so that we can facilitate that technology transfer, not only from UK to India, also India to UK. Today we have moved away from doing jobs for those jobs that, even software jobs that the local population in UK, US didn't want to do, like defect management, documentation. Those jobs are being outsourced. Now we have become the technology leaders in that area, and that is the way we are ahead with China. How do we build on top of that to deliver, rather than like Infosys, doing other companies work. We want to grow local talent, local applications. We will be happy to come and have a base, for our mobile money development. And today we are doing development in Mohali and Chennai, but we will be very happy to expand that area, because today I know when we went to Africa, they hold us very high in terms of our technical ability.
I'm going to have that session separately with you. I'm going to have that
Sure,
finance, Africa, and money part. I'm going to discuss
yeah.
separately with you, because
Yes.
one more session we will take. Today, my focus is totally on education, and
Yes.
particularly the new education policy, where
Yeah.
the Honorable Prime Minister of India has emphasized that right from 6th class, the
Yeah.
children should start learn coding. Children should
Yes.
start picking up, the vocationals, and
Yes.
they should go for internship to the corporate houses. So couple of
So,
things, those are, and
yeah.
you have given some beautiful points to me. And one key point I'll take, that when the people those have gone from India, if some of them initially in a phases, because everybody cannot be brought together, let's take
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
if we identify that we need a particular segment, we need a particular area, we need a particular technology.
Yeah.
So with knowledge, you mentioned that they bring contacts and networking also. That's one
Yes.
very valid point which you brought
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
So on education side, if you can give me some more inputs, what could be done by Indian government, particularly
Yes.
when we are talking about non-resident Indians, when we are talking about technocrats, when we are
Yes.
talking about technology, and when we are talking about giving them a desired platform or a place or a venture, so that they come back and they help India to
Yes.
grow technologically.
Yes. So today I think the need is connecting people. I think that's where education is. That's where this mobile money is. So the connecting people is the key today. And how do we connect people? By bringing them to work together. Obviously, there are the driver behind all that is success, and the success is in making an impact. And so how we have made an impact, like our dairy application, we can talk about that in a separate session also. But education today, the education sector is probably one of the largest, other than railways, largest employers of mind today, largest employer. and largest impact on the population. Because the way in India, we've known that for hundreds of years, that to remove somebody out of the poverty cycle is to educate them. One person educated in the family, 10 others are moved out of a poverty cycle. So I think if our motivation is to do that and link education to industry, link education to careers, and what are those careers? Most students today tend to think if they want to have careers, they want to have a good life, they need to leave, go somewhere else. And Canada is one endpoint. I mean, cities in Canada have become Punjab, mainly through student population. And I think those students, I will give you a personal example. Once you leave your own home country, you know that when you are in another country, you are torn between these countries because you have family back there, you have family here, and you hear a lot of things once they have happened, good things and bad things in people's lives. And if we can make that, I kept myself, luckily, when I moved back from USA, my first job with IBM, with the company, IBM, was to take care of, manage the people in Chennai. And I thought, oh, this is easy. I don't have to sit at a desk anymore whole day because I've already done that for 20 years. And now I get a chance to travel back and forth to India. What more can you ask for? So I think this is where we offer that opportunity for our engineers, our senior managers in UK, in US, in other European countries, to be part of India's growth, and not only industry, but also the school and education system, because this is where we feel that I sat on a Tartnuki, what you call it in English, Bori Nuki can the English, which I sat on that and studied under the board of the tree, right? So that education has stayed with me. And then we need to take that to all the other students in colleges, in schools. So how do we make sure now they're contributors? And they can only be contributors if we bring them into the mainstream of education through colleges, whether it's government, whether it's private. And I think the syllabus is the other, I think, one I would like to touch on that. What we teach in the colleges, we have done a very traditional thing right now, in majority, not everything, but majority, traditional, you read books, you learn things, you pass exams, you get your degree. I think we need to change that today. We need to bring in, like you said,
the new education policy emphasizes on that, the
excellent,
curriculum and all that and everything. And that's why there is no
yeah,
tight compartment of art, commerce, or science. That's why
yes,
the skills, the vocationals, the internship, and corporate industry
yeah,
interface with the school and colleges. Now it is going to be a reality. So your point has been well taken in that. My concern is,
yes,
and I want to conclude with that from you. You got to give me a solution. You got to
yes,
give me a solution, and three-tier solution. Number one,
Ajay,
children, how they should be told that just going out is not a solution. Just going out and moving out of a particular state is not a solution.
yes,
Number two, second point, how to create that environment over here that it's
yes,
no more attractive to go abroad. That is second
yeah,
part. And
yes,
the third part is those have gone abroad and they have picked up some expertise, how to
yes,
link them and how to bring them back. So this is a
yes.
three-tier strategy. And with that, I would like to conclude with your vision on that.
Yeah. So I think in terms of teaching, what needs to change. You mentioned sixth grade or fourth grade onwards, teaching them about science and about programming, coding. Coding is actually a language. Children are the best learners of language. My age, it will take me a long time to learn another language. A child can pick up within days and weeks languages. So coding is a language. What we need to bring them into is to get to that language. We have a problem to solve, and how is a problem and those languages linked? That is very, very important first step, what we teach. Teaching a language is, coding is not enough, but how we solve a problem. I think my example is when we came from India, I had to work first before I went back to study. And you realize, oh, everything you studied in school in India, there's a factory here. First time I've seen a factory in my life where they were making, around the car window has a rubber bits around it to seal the window. They were making those. And now I understood how education links to your work life. So that is very important. First point. And the second point was, how do we make it attractive for people not to go abroad? Biggest thing is hope. If somebody thinks I'm going to spend 5 years studying and then at the end of it, I may be unemployed, that everybody who works in our IAS department, who is in charge of money, must realize that we are doing everything for people to have work. When they lay off, in the last month, 100,000 layoffs have been announced here. But everybody, you can see on their faces, government, the TV announcer, how concerned they are about somebody's job loss. We have to be very, very
Sensitive.
conscious of that. Very, very conscious. Third thing is, how do we bring back? I think we can set up an organization, ICSI, the other media programs, LinkedIn, ICSI, and we can set up a offices, ICSI, UK, ICSI, Canada, US, 3 or 4 offices. You have a liaison office there. Very simple, not a physical office, but a virtual office, and appoint some people. And we will say how we can come up with a charter that will learn and bring people's ideas into it, because only those people who are outside can decide what it will take for them to go back. I don't think, being in India, I don't think we can say this is good for you and we can do this for you. And that has to be worked with the government department, trade and industry, so that we can say what is it that they will provide. We have to go beyond just basics, because this is a lifestyle and comfort level of people to be changed. So anything that we can look at the details, develop those details of the charter for ICSI.
Thank you very much. And final any word you would like to tell to the teachers and the youth, so that then we can close down? Any final word from your side to the teachers and the youth together?
I think this pandemic has taught us and speeded up a lot of things for us, and we have added to our LMS product. We have added remote education within 3 weeks.
Just imagine.
So today the education is not about how to do long division, is how to use the best calculator to do that division. Yes. I think we need to teach in our schools and colleges the tools to become the best problem solvers.
Excellent.
That is the key. That is the key. And I would, as a final closing thing, I would like to add, I want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amrik Parmar ji. It was so very kind of you. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's mine. Thank you, Ji. Thank you.
Thank you.